Bethesda made this game?
They didn't make it. They published it.
Oh. Yeah, so hello everybody. Welcome to Patron Week. We decided we don't like Rutskarn, I guess. This is
Are we already recording?
yeah, we're going. We're doing this.
All right. Yep. Let's get some hard cock up on the channel. You didn't think I'd say that on the actual recording, did you, Joshua? Cock being, of course, Call of Cthulhu.
No, I absolutely expected you to say that. Why the fuck is this fucking video so bad?
Chris asked what this video game was, and I answered, this was the Xbox's answer to Eternal Darkness, and that's what I'm going to stick with. It's not literally true in most senses, but it is emotionally true. This is one of the first big, hardcore official adaptations. Yeah, of Call of Cthulhu I think probably the first Call of Cthulhu game was an Infocom game, which was, even by the standards of Infocom games, marginally unplayable, if I remember correct. And this was kind of like, all right, now we have next-gen technology for this gen. We have high-quality first-person immersive experiences are possible. We're starting to experiment with games that aren't just dumb shooters. Let's make a really cool horror game and then turn it into a dumb shooter about midway through.
Was this before or after Fear?
This was before Fear, and when I say it turns into a dumb shooter, I don't even mean I don't mean it turned into a boring shooter in the way that shooters would turn into boring shooters in a few years. I mean this turned into a game that was just focused on their own bespoke, dedicated shooting mechanic. This is original Call of Duty era shooting mechanics.
Awesome. Rutskarn, are you a Boy Scout or a private investigator?
It hardly fucking matters.
Alright.
Pick private investigator because dying is funny. Also, I believe you can save anywhere. No, wait.
Arkham Asylum,
Fuck,
which...
I actually don't remember. No, you can't. You cannot. Never mind.
Fully see. My last case opened to me.
These are some garbage fucking subtitles, holy shit.
It's that Xbox era of subtitle where every letter needs to be the size of a postage stamp or else you can't read it on your CRT.
Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadow.
Also, this game was natively 4x3.
So. Oh my god, the aspect ratio is wrong.
Yeah, no, it
can't do widescreen correctly.
You're gonna have to do some alchemy.
And the recording is absolutely chugging.
We'll probably try to stop and fix this
after the cutscene. I will fix that. I think I know what to do.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about in this game. I could probably, honestly, I could probably live through an entire season of this and not run out of shit to say. Because I think that they made some, for the time, extremely bold choices. They were not always rewarded. They did not, as far as a take on the Call of Cthulhu subject matter goes, this is an extremely over-the-plate pitch. This is, it makes no attempts to explore the material in kind of a modern way, or to kind of have its own commentary on some of the themes of the work, or to kind of elevate some of the cosmic horror to suit modern sensibility or sort of modern nihilism. It really is just this is a classic evocation of these themes within the tropes of a quasi-1930s pulp environment. There's no attempt made to even the Fantasy Flight level of, well, maybe we could have some characters who are white dudes.
Is there a way to... I probably should have paused there.
Yeah. But even the fact that it was doing that much was somewhat weird.
Oh, okay, cool. Hang on. I'm going to fix the recording, or at least I'm going to try to fix the recording. Assuming I am... Oh, no. Okay, I think... Oh, okay, it crashed. Awesome. All right.
Okay, cool. Outstanding. Excelsior.
This is gonna be a good hour. Okay, let's see if we can do it this way. Okay. Wait, what is this setting do? Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay. Okay, here we go.
And that's Call of Cthulhu, everybody.
Yeah, we'll just leave this whole section in while I'm messing around with fucking OBS settings. Center to screen. There we go. Okay. Are we good?
When the stream comes.
Stuff. Yeah, I know. I have to. Oh no. Oh, this is worse. Oh god. Okay. Let's try that. Recording started now. Here we go. Oh, that looks marginally better. Okay, we're gonna hit continue here, and hopefully things will work. Six and a half years ago. Going back to fucking 2015, y'all.
That's how long we've been trying to get this game to work.
2014.
I think that I started writing about this game, and people have been referencing the fact that I did a series on my blog.
Yeah,
my
this
blog,
was Claude of Cthulhu,
2 or
wasn't
3 defunctions ago. Yes, Claude of Cthulhu. It was I wrote and did not complete a series detailing the stupidity of this game's narrative. More specifically, the stupidity of the decisions the protagonist makes across this narrative. Back in 2009, 2010, I want to say, which was, for those of you keeping score, 12 years ago. I was a teenager.
This had better be good.
More than 12 years. Oh my god, this guy. What happened to this guy's face?
This game...
His eyes are so far apart.
Is this looking any better on your end? Is it just getting chopped up on our side?
It looks a little choppy on my end, but not as bad as it was before. You can just kind of...
It's alright. So this game was not exactly... This game didn't exactly hit the lot as a Cadillac back in the day, and every 2 or 3 years, someone will try to revisit it and discover that it's still broken. And it's actually more broken in new and interesting ways.
Well, that's just great. Lead the way, Robert.
So you should just sort of periodically turn it into fucking frame soup. All right, so so this is Call of Cthulhu the video game, but like what does that mean? Cuz people use a lot of like Call of Cthulhu when it comes to like the Lovecraft mythos to just kind of mean whatever the fuck they want. Like, they regularly use it as, like, references to fucking The Shadow over Innsmouth, which does not have Cthulhu in it, you know.
This is the right question, which I am 100%, like, I'm very into answering. This game was a good faith effort. I'm actually going to let this play out a little bit here, and then we're going to have a moment. We're going to have some time for me to kind of circle back around after this section here. But basically, this is a good faith effort to make a game which is just you being an investigator, and then there's some monsters around. And it is that for a heartbreakingly long amount of time, considering that it then stops being that permanently.
Awesome. What the fuck?
Yeah, this feels like you fuck something up every single time it happens, but this is supposed to happen.
Yes, the part in Lovecraft's fiction where lots of gunfights happen spontaneously.
Doesn't this feel and look aesthetically like, you know, you were supposed to stay there and then you move forward and the NPCs broke out into their combat pathing when they weren't supposed to? Like in like if you accidentally shoot somebody in UNATCO in first Deus Ex.
Yes.
Like that's exactly what this feels like, but no, this is supposed to happen.
I thought this was WASD, but it's actually WAXND. I don't know what S does. It doesn't seem to do anything, but X is back.
That's buck wild. Are you kidding me?
I didn't
It's like
see
they
an
just
option to
mapped-
remap
It's like
controls.
they just mapped the thumbstick onto it.
Oh yeah! I'll get inside! Right! Inside of this building full of the, like, 70 people shooting at you guys. Alright, yeah, that's great.
Did you follow what the actual story here is? Because I kind of remember what it's supposed to be.
There's some cultists.
They asked for you to
we're
show
an
up,
investigator,
so you were called in.
And now we're at Normandy. How do I... S is use? Oh my god, S is the use key.
The Call of
the
Cthulhu
fuck?
Cosmic Horror is already starting. Your keyboard is cursed now.
Do I have an inventory or a flashlight or some shit?
Nope. You got nothing right now, which I respect.
I like that you delivered that as if you were Skinner or Chalmers being angry at Skinner.
Flaming eye. I should take a closer look.
So this is
I
an
like
Elder
they just
Sign,
have-
which is a trope.
They just straight up have a painting of Cthulhu there, too. Just like, you know, hey, look at my art of Elder
I guess
Gods.
so.
Yeah, just for guests, you know. So yeah, like people who are familiar with the Lovecraft mythos, either because they've read the stories, or more likely because they've kind of just played a lot of the board games and video games and stuff, will recognize some of the tropes that are being introduced. This game was kind of one of the first serious attempts to translate the non-obviously fucked up parts of the Cthulhu mythos into, like, a modern piece of fiction. And there's always, like, the question of, if you're doing that, what is your approach to the fact that much of the basis of kind of cosmic horror, as Lovecraft portrayed it, came from the fact that he was terrified and disgusted of really everybody, and then, like, specifically was racist, and kind of generally, like, what you would today be an alt-right shitlord who spends a lot of time posting about degeneracy. And this game takes what is one of the most popular approaches, which is to just kind of not see it, and not be actively racist, and then collect the trophy for not being actively racist. It's like they opened up Lovecraft's, like, props cabinet, and they grabbed all of the regular ones, and they saw, like, the really creepy racist ones, and they're just like, well, we'll just leave those there. We'll just not bring those out. But it's fine otherwise.
I guess, but, like, there's a lot of stuff in Lovecraft that does not immediately strike you as racist, but then when you think about it, like, oh, like, the whole Shadow over Innsmouth thing is, like, basically the fear of being mixed race is the punchline for that fucking story, so, like...
There's a lot of ways to have relationships with Lovecraft's writing, and particularly cosmic horror more generally, but, like... It's something that you need to think about if you're going to write something that's interesting in more than just a surface level way. Because if all you're doing is taking, even, like, ignoring the fact that, like,
They're all dead.
like, even, like, moving past and, like, beyond the issue of racism, if all you're doing is taking his toys and playing with them, that's nothing.
Why is it shaking? What happens?
Because you're going crazy.
Am I going
this is too weird.
insane?
So this game,
Oh,
this game
man.
had a very publicized insanity mechanic. One of the first big PC releases that had anything like a sanity mechanic. They really hyped the hell out of it. Eternal Darkness kind of set the tone for that, but the thing about Eternal Darkness was that it was kind of fun. In the sense of, like, being playful, like, where, like, it would make you think your controller had disconnected, or, like, it would have, like, goofy stuff like your character's head pops off, like, when your sanity, which was an actual, like, mechanic, like, that was a green bar on the screen, got low. And it was kind of like, you know, some people did find it scary or, like, immersive, but more than that, it was just kind of fun. This game's is more like trying to be scary and immersive, and there's definitely mixed results there.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting document to examine on that level.
We've been expecting you, Mr. Walt.
Okay.
This game is very funny. This game is extremely funny. I should say that up front.
Hi everyone.
I better keep my distance from the window.
The case has been solved on account of all the cultists are now dead. So I'm leaving.
You know, can I say that I have mixed feelings about the fact that we don't get like aggressively mercenary narrations like this from like decent video game productions anymore?
It feels very like point and click adventure-y kind of narration.
This guy just got shot in front of me. I better stay away from the window or I might also be murdered by the police.
It won't open.
Looks like this window was nailed shut by all of the cultists currently trying to murder me. It's so weird that they're all covered in scarification.
It's unlocked.
Okay. I was wondering if I was going to open an inventory and use key on door, but probably not.
I would really love a deep dive comparing this. In fact, I may have to actually like be the one responsible for a deep dive comparing this to the most recent Call of Cthulhu game.
This was their plan. They're tricking you into this. They're getting us to do it on fucking Patron Week, and then you're just like, oh man, actually, there's more to talk about this video game that I've been talking about for literally a decade.
I never even finished my series on this game, and that was not like. I don't know if my brand is more associated with analysis these days, but that was basically just a look how stupid the protagonist of this video game was series of posts.
Another key. This should fit the door. All these photos.
Because like you make a lot of decisions as Jack Walters makes a lot of questionable life decisions. Let's put it that way. And it is a little bit like this game is trying to. This game does spends a lot of time trying to immerse you in like this kind of horror scenario that you're in, and Jack Walters is just like really oblivious to many obvious cues that he's about to get fucked.
That is not out of keeping with Lovecraft protagonists, though. They tend to be very dumb.
The thing
when
about
it comes
Jack
to
Walters,
genre stuff.
The thing about Jack Walters is that he just generally is not a terribly compelling character, but he's also not a blank slate.
The drawer holds an ancient manuscript. The symbols on the front seem to be written in classical Greek.
I love that inflection. Ancient manuscript.
There is my favorite moment in the news, like the newer Call of Cthulhu. I think it was like the new Call of Cthulhu first-person role-playing game is where like you look at a wooden leg or something, or like a whalebone leg or something, and you're just like, what a macabre souvenir.
Oh god.
But to me, that sums up everything good and bad about that video game.
So this is a manuscript that's a translation, a medieval manuscript that's a translation of a probably Koine Greek or Attic Greek text that claims to be a far older work from before the time of the first humans.
Whatever kind of Greek that Lovecraft thought was too ethnic.
You've got a lot of Lovecraftian particular aliens being name dropped here.
There's a lot to criticize about, a lot to criticize about Lovecraft as an author. But one of the things that always bothers me about lazy knockoff Lovecraft prose is that, like, one of the things Lovecraft was good at, and he wasn't good at very much, was really selling you on the idea of these things that could drive you mad by comprehending them. And so often in these sorts of knockoff stories, they just sort of say, and if you saw it, you'd go nuts. Isn't that crazy? It's the most disturbing thing. Like, and I don't know, there's just something that completely takes me out of it when somebody mentions, like, this ancient artifact mentions aliens that were so alien to us, we would go crazy if we beheld them. Like, just saying it out loud.
There's something incredibly compelling about the idea, which is not, like, exclusive or, like, even really, I don't think, originated with Lovecraft, that seeing something would be enough to drive you mad. Seeing something would permanently cost you your mental health, like in a way that is beyond simple trauma and extends to like a complete rewriting of your just relationship with reality. And one of the coolest things you can do as a writer of cosmic horror, as a creator within cosmic horror space, is ask yourself, what does that mean? What does that look like? Because it is basically a concept we don't have a lot of real-world frame of reference for. It's kind of like this is a speculative horror, to coin a phrase, I guess. And it's because it's not like, like if there's horror about a serial killer, right? You could get that. Like, you get it. Like, yeah, okay, I could understand what someone trying to kill me would be like in the broadest terms. But I can't visualize something that cannot be understood visually.
Yeah.
Right.
But the fact that this is cool is self-evident. The question of what to do with it is not something that a given game development studio, even one that's gung-ho about Lovecraft, is necessarily going to be up to not only conceptualizing and not only rendering, but also, like, mechanically supporting.
Well, I mean... Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Well, I was just gonna finish my point by saying, like, the way your character goes mad when he sees crazy stuff in this game is your vision gets blurry and weird. Like, what does that mean conceptually? Like, it's a perfunctory evocation of the idea of, like, cosmic horror, but it's not really, like, it doesn't drill into it exactly.
One of the things that Eternal Darkness did really well was the fact, like, I agree with you, Rutskarn, that Eternal Darkness's sanity effects were quote-unquote playful, but part of what made them playful was the fact that they were so willing to break the fourth wall and effectively point at you, the player.
Strange sounds coming from this side of the room.
When I say that this is like the Xbox version of Eternal Darkness, part of that is that Eternal Darkness is fun. And this game, I mean, in a cool way... Oh, did we crash again?
Yeah, the game is gone. The game has exploded. Awesome! Yeah. That's the existential horror, is the video game sometimes dies. That universe is gone. It's over. What if we're all in a video game and the computer crashes? All right, here we go. Recording started now. Again, let's hit continue, see what happens here. Oh,
You're
God, we're going to go back
that.
to the fucking save symbol. Oh, right.
You're not streaming that.
No, hang on. I can fix this. Trust me. Oh.
Or not.
It crashed. Well, everybody, thank you for watching Call of Cthulhu, the Dark Corners of the Earth.
We need people to start sending us old computers.
Yeah,
please give us
a physical capture card.
Please give us a $3,000 gaming rig circa 2003. That would be great.
Why can't I click on this?
It's wild to me how how computer prices have remained relatively stagnant over the years. Like, unaffected, but like it's like almost perfect how it's matched up with inflation.
I can't click on anything on my main desktop. What the hell?
Did it ruin your computer? Jesus, that is cosmic horror.
There we go. Okay, I think I got it. Are we good? Looks like it's running.
It's streaming.
Okay. Recording started now. All right. I think we're back. This is we're definitely not going to be able to do a full playthrough of this game. All right. Going to hit continue and probably be back at the save from 5 minutes in. Yep. Awesome. Cool.
Well, what actually happened in the interim?
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
I think some people who did videos on this since have actually made
Yes, we're going.
No. Some people have done video games on... Yeah, I mean, we may as well. Man, I actually get any further than that. Some people have made videos on this since have actually used the actual literal Xbox version.
I mean...
That makes more sense if you're going to cover this game.
Expecting you, Mr.
What do you call the original Xbox again these days?
Xbox.
The Xbox 2.
Could come in handy.
Anyway, I get back to my point, I guess. the fact that Eternal Darkness's fourth wall breaks were part of the sanity meters felt like what would have been a reality-shattering discovery, right? Like, it's kind of hackneyed and one note, right? Like, I'm a fictive character. It's that Max Payne thing, right? Funny as hell. It's the worst thing I could have imagined. But, like,
Yeah.
there's at least something world-destroying about that, right? That you are not a free-willed human being. You are a controlled puppet of a video game system. And there's something interesting about that reality break that is presented as a fourth wall break to the player that is more mind-bending than, ooh, your vision's fuzzy, ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Eternal Darkness fucks. That game is awesome. I'm a big fan of Eternal Darkness. When I say that Eternal Darkness is fun and this game isn't, I don't necessarily mean that as a dig on this game. This game is trying to be a serious horror experience on the level of a horror film or a horror book, whereas Eternal Darkness was kind of like a pulpy shonen style horror experience, I want to say. Where, like, you know, yeah, there's scary monsters and stuff, but there's also, like, a Roman centurion warlock. And, you know, you run around yelling, Charlemagne!
Well, the good news is, we didn't crash. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
So what's funny about this game in many ways is how it ultimately fails to be the serious game it aesthetically is for half of it, when it basically at the midpoint turns into a shooter on the same aesthetic and tonal level of Eternal Darkness without any of the fun.
Awesome. Hey,
Medical charts in the human anatomy.
we're doing autopsies.
Dead bodies, and plenty of them. Something dreadful.
Why
He's
is
a
there
detective.
a morgue? Like a straight up actual morgue down here.
I mean, this is like a vaguely cool like, you know, that is the point. I think Jack Walker's definitely underselling how weird and creepy this is through his narrations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's supposed to be scary. Like, there's a weird morgue underneath a fucking house. Like, how many bodies are you dealing with, and what are you doing with them that you have a morgue under your house?
And a fucking
A Frankenstein table
Yep.
connected to
American
a magical
McGee's
orb.
Alice.
Looks like his stomach. The contraption above seems to be controlling his breathing.
I think this is just a fucked up idea that they didn't have a place to put. Like, they didn't have a place to put this fucked up idea, so they just kind of stuck it here.
Looks like his brain.
Yeah.
I wonder what those wires are for.
Like, this has no thematic resonance that I can remember, or like real story significance. It's just like, wouldn't it be fucked up if there was a bunch of organs and jars and also the guy was still alive? Like, this is an idea that you would have for your Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, like, campaign, like for the first session, and you'd just be like, oh man, this is so sick, I can't wait to run this and really gross out all my players. And you're like, well, what does it tie into? Like, what's the grander significance? The grander significance is that it's fucked up. They're gonna be choking on their pizza.
I'm not touching it again.
Whoops.
Delivery was so fucking funny.
The crystal's still warm.
I'm not touching that again. I might kill him twice.
Oh, he's dead now. Oh no.
He said it like, oh no, button I pushed for no reason that killed a man. You're not gonna fool me twice. I'm wise to your ways, weird button.
It's too hot to touch. I think it's being used as a power source for the machine.
He's just so nonplussed. I know that word doesn't mean that.
This is not incredibly convincing as Lovecraftian horror architecture, I gotta say.
No, there's nothing about this. I mean, like, you know, listen, if this game was made today by even a mid-range studio with Unreal 16 or whatever, this would be really atmospheric and cool. But for the time, this was fucked up and bizarre enough that it passed.
I guess.
So you've got me just thinking of other horror shooters, not of the era, because...
What?
I mean, I guess the closest to the era is Fear, but...
What's your detective vision, Josh?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not really, but you'll see. It's like, I think it's like night vision or something. Whatever. Continue, please, Chris.
No, I was just thinking of other horror shooters, and there's not that many in the early 2000s. Clive Barker's Undying is one of the only ones that really comes to mind.
Clive Barker's Undying is the eternal darkness of Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth.
I do like how the plan is to just randomly push buttons and turn stuff on.
I actually, you know, I bought Clive Barker's Undying in a, like, back in the day when I was like 12 or whatever, in a cardboard pack with American McGee's Alice, and I think that is pretty much like there's a pretty clear thematic resonance between those games.
Oh my god, these things are so goofy!
It's the great risky gift, Josh. What do you want?
So, you know what came out before this, including on the Xbox?
What?
Doom 3, if you want to talk about horror shooters.
Oh man.
I say that mostly because I can't believe this game looks like this when Doom 3 looks like Doom 3.
I made some money. You know, it was cutting edge. This game was not.